you ever found yourself rage texting after a bad call or going knee deep into your kids' snacks after something goes wrong? That's not you being broken. That's just how we've learned to deal with our emotions. Today, I'm going to teach you the 4 ways that we typically handle emotions and the 1 way that actually helps you perform better. Hi, I'm Amber Dybert. I'm a performance coach for enterprise and strategic sellers. I help with mindset and productivity. And feelings and emotions are a huge piece of your performance. Typically, we handle them in all the wrong ways, and it causes a lot of extra problems for us. But there is 1 way that you can deal with your emotions that causes them to be not an issue at all. You can harness them, you can get them where you need them to be, and you can move forward very quickly. This one is for all my tech sellers out there who feel like they get hijacked by their emotions, especially when it's mid-quarter and you're not where you want to be, whether you're procrastinating, overthinking, or snapping in meetings. Emotions are driving more of the behavior than you think. Most of us were never taught what to do with an emotion. So we either shove it down, distract ourselves, or we react to it, and we let our emotions run the show. But there is a 4th option, one that is way less damaging. It actually takes a lot less time, and it's so much more empowering. Let me break it down for you. So emotions are fascinating to me because we all experience them. We all have emotions, but nobody ever taught us what to do with them. So we're all out here trying to figure out what to do with these emotions, how to deal with them, how to handle them. And they can cause a lot of problems if we don't have them under control. But what does under control even mean? A lot of us think that we have our emotions under control, but we're actually navigating our emotions in a way that's going to be ultimately detrimental to our future goals. If I could step on a soapbox for a minute, I feel like this should be mandatory learning in every high school. People should learn what their emotions are, what to do with them. And another soapbox that I have is that emotions are a mammalian experience. What do I mean by that? I mean that every single human being experiences emotions. Every single mammal experiences emotions. Dogs also feel angry or sad or upset or embarrassed. And somehow society has taught us that emotions aren't okay, that we're not supposed to feel emotions, that we aren't supposed to be emotional. But that's garbage. We're mammals. Literally, it's built into who we are and how we operate. And we're not any different than a dog. A dog is going to experience emotions, and we're going to experience emotions. And so because society has taught us that emotions aren't okay, we shouldn't feel emotional, we shouldn't be emotional, we shouldn't allow any kind of emotions, we found a bunch of other ways to deal with the emotions because inevitably they're going to come up. That's part of life. So the first way that we deal with emotions, which is not particularly helpful, is we react to them. Something happens and maybe you punch a wall or you start rage texting or you send something that you didn't mean to send, or you start writing the angry email and then you delete it all and write the professional email. Or maybe you're less reactive, but you're more internally reactive. Maybe you're more like me and you just start passive aggressively plotting your revenge. Reacting to emotions feels like a positive thing. It feels like you're feeling this emotion and you're doing something with it. So in our heads, we tell ourselves, this is fine. This is an okay thing. It's good that I'm doing something with this emotion. However, reacting to emotions always has a negative consequence. You just punched a hole in the wall. You sent that email that was angrier than it should have been. You raged on your coworker in a meeting. As we go through these different options, I want you to notice where you land in each of these. Maybe you do a bunch of these different behaviors, but I want you to recognize what is the flavor of how you do these particular things. What are your go-tos? Because as you start to become aware of how these show up for you, then you can start to become aware of changing them as well. When we're talking about reacting to emotions, I know I've been there. Somebody comments something on my post or they send me an email that I don't like. And immediately I'm like, oh, I'm going to get them back. I'm going to say the meanest things back. And thankfully I have the self-awareness to not send those emails most of the time, but we've all done things that we regret. Okay, let's move on to number 2. So number 1 is you can react to an emotion. Number 2 is you can resist an emotion. So many of us do this. I think maybe everybody does this, except for people who have really great emotional intelligence, which I honestly think might be kids. The kids who are socialized to not shove their feelings down are probably the only ones who actually let them out. So number 2 is you can resist an emotion. What this looks like is it's shoving down your feelings. So you might be telling yourself something like, it's fine, I'm okay, this isn't a big deal, I'm not affected by this, I feel fine. You're just basically telling yourself that what you're feeling is not real, or you're not actually feeling anything and you're totally fine. And it's kind of like the duck analogy. We're like, on the top of the water, it looks super calm, but under the water, its legs are just paddling furiously. Like, if you were honest with yourself, you'd be like, I'm not fine. This is really hard. This is a big challenge. I am trying to overcome this, and I'm not sure where to go. And this feels very overwhelming. But what happens is we just shove our emotions down. For a lot of us, myself included, we learned that emotions weren't helpful. When we were emotional around our caregivers, they would say things like, I'll give you something to cry about, or all the other silly things that these people said. They taught us that it was not okay to feel our feelings. And so we learned it's not okay for me to be emotional. I lose access to my caretakers. And so instead, I'm just going to shove them down. When I think about myself, I've spent most of my life just disconnected. I just spend all my time in my head overthinking things and no time in my body. I've just disconnected. I've got a paint can lid here that I've just hammered down, and those emotions are not coming out. And now as an adult, I'm having to learn how to feel my feelings, how to actually allow my emotions, how to process them. When I think about resisting your emotions, I imagine pushing a beach ball underwater. You can push it down, push it down, push it down, push it down, but the pressure just builds and builds and builds. And eventually that beach ball is just going to completely burst out of the water. And so this will happen sometimes in my interpersonal relationships. I'll be telling myself, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. This is okay. I can handle this. It's no big deal. I'm okay. And eventually something totally benign happens. And my reaction is a completely outsized reaction, because now all that pressure that's been shoved down is exploding out of me. And whoever's with me is like, ooh, what's happening? Where did that come from? This seems like not that big of a deal, but you're having a big reaction to it. So if that's you, if you can relate to this, notice when you're shoving down your emotions. Notice how you're shoving down your emotions. Notice when it happens and when you're telling yourself you're fine. But if you're really honest with yourself, you're not fine. Okay, so number 1 is react to your emotions. Number 2 is resist your emotions. And number 3 is avoid your emotions. This is so easy to do in today's society. Anytime we're feeling bad, we can just go find some dopamine. It's everywhere. You can go get some sugar. You can go scroll on your phone. You can binge watch something. It is so easy to avoid emotions. And our brains are programmed for this. Our brains are like, I feel really bad. I know what's going to make me feel better. Going to that app that I love, going and playing chess, reading the news. Avoiding our emotions looks like overconsumption of pretty much anything. It might be overconsumption on your phone, overconsumption of a show, overconsumption of sugar, overconsumption of food, overconsumption of exercise, over shopping, over gambling. Any one of those sources where we can just distract ourselves for a while, get some dopamine and feel better. However, once we get out of that death playground, we come back and we still have the same problems. They're still there. They haven't left. So not only are we left with the same problems, we now have wasted time, money, energy, our health on something that just made us happy for a short term. This one is particularly helpful to recognize what are your behaviors, what are your go-tos, what is it that you go and overconsume when you feel bad. Once you can start to build that awareness, you can start to notice like, oh man, I'm feeling overwhelmed, because for so many of us, the behavior just becomes automatic. Our brains instantly know where they can go get some dopamine, and we don't even catch ourselves all the time. So it's really helpful to notice what is your go-to. For some of my clients, it's chess. For some of my clients, it's the news. For some of my clients, it's food. For some of my clients, it's exercise. What are the things that you're over-consuming that are causing an ultimately negative consequence for you? Okay, we already talked about the first 3. We're on the last one. So the first one is you can react to your emotions. The second one is you can resist them and shove them down. The third one is you can avoid them. And now we're finally to the one that is going to be the most helpful for you. Number 4 is you can allow your emotions. I talked about this in a previous video about feelings. Emotions are actually just a physical sensation. It's kind of wild when you think about it. All it is is a physical sensation in your body. And you can allow emotions by just being present with them, just noticing them, just allowing them, telling yourself, it's okay for me to feel sad. I'm going to let myself feel sad. It's okay for me to be upset about this. I can feel the discomfort of being upset without reacting, resisting, or avoiding. When you stay present with the physical sensation, it actually only lasts for about 90 seconds, and then it's gone. It's wild. I've taken my clients through exercises to feel their feelings, and after those 90 seconds, I ask them, how do you feel now? And they say, lighter, more focused. I feel fine. I felt so upset before, and now I just feel totally okay. If you're willing to be present with your emotions and be present with the physical sensation for 90 seconds, you no longer have to resist it. You don't have to go through a doom scrolling hole and waste 2 hours of your life. You don't have to go overeat and then have to try to fix your health later. You can just be present with the emotion. I have a course that teaches you all about this. It teaches you all about your mindset, teaches you all about your feelings. You can find it at manageyourmindset.io, and it will walk you through the exact step-by-step process that I take my clients through. It takes 5 minutes, and you can process any feeling that exists and save so much time, feel so much better, and feel so much more focused and more clear. Go check out that course at manageyourmindset.io. I've linked it up in the show notes. I'd love to hear what your go-to vices are. Do you doom scroll? Do you go raid the snack drawer? What are the things that suck up your time and your energy? I think you'll find that you're not alone, and there are so many people in a similar situation to you. Okay, so to summarize, you've got 4 options when emotions show up. You can react, you can resist, you can avoid, or you can allow them. And they actually don't last long at all, and then you can move on with your day. Reacting might feel good in the short term. It might feel like you're doing something with your emotion, but it always has a negative consequence. Resisting might look like the right thing, telling yourself that you're fine, telling yourself that you're unaffected, telling yourself that you're okay. But eventually that pressure will build too big, and you're going to have to feel the repercussions of shoving down all your emotions. Avoiding emotions has the most negative consequence of all of them. Either you feel worse, lose all your time, lose all your energy, and usually you're just like, what's wrong with me? I know what I need to be doing. How come I'm not doing it? How come I'm wasting my time over here? And allowing emotions takes practice. It's something that we never learned, and it's something that you have to practice, but once you practice it, you'll get better and better and better, and pretty soon emotions won't have any hold on you. You'll be able to allow them and process them through your system before having all the negative consequences. I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked this episode and have somebody in mind that would benefit from it, please feel free to share it. And if not, feel free to like, subscribe, follow along, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you and what you like out of this podcast and what's been helpful for you. It has been so fun hearing so many massive success stories from so many of you who've been listening to the podcast, watching on YouTube, and have applied the concepts and had massive successes from it. I just heard from someone who said that they've been applying what they learned in the podcast and had their best month ever because of implementing the tactics that I give. If that's you, please come reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. I'm on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Amber Dibert, and I'll see you in next week's video.